Good morning, and welcome to the hooding ceremony for doctoral candidates at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Leading us in the national anthem is William Reed, candidate for Bachelor of Arts in Music and Journalism and Mass Communication.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you for joining us today for this important event in the life of our university. The hooding ceremony honors graduate students who have completed doctoral training, an exceptional accomplishment that merits special recognition. The road to a doctoral degree is a long and difficult one, so it is appropriate to recognize what these students have accomplished. We also want to honor what these students represent for the future of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and higher education. They are our future faculty, researchers, and public servants. They are our high school teachers, scientists, inventors, writers, social workers, our leaders. Graduate students are scholars who work at the frontiers of knowledge, and their discoveries extend our collective understanding. Their research enhances the health and well-being of North Carolina's citizens and adds to the social and cultural life of our state. The benefits of their discoveries do not stop at the North Carolina border. They extend around the world. The course of study for a graduate student is not limited to the ethereal world of theory and research. They also teach and do public engagement, both vital contributions to Carolina's mission. Much of Carolina's research and education enterprise is powered by graduate research and teaching assistants working together with faculty mentors. All of these contributions help make Carolina one of the preeminent research universities in the nation. This ceremony marks the successful completion of their doctoral degree and also recognizes the many contributions that graduate students make to Carolina as scholars, teachers, partners, and mentors. Graduates, thank you. And congratulations on reaching this milestone. Joining us on the stage today are a number of distinguished people. First, I'm pleased to introduce the Chair of the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Roger Perry.
Thank you, Chancellor. I'm delighted to be part of this important ceremony. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I congratulate each of you on the completion of your doctoral studies. The Board understands that graduate students are an integral and vital part of the mission of this university, and we thank you for your contributions to research, to teaching, and public service while you have been here at Carolina. I'm sure you will all move out into the world now and contribute much to our state, to our country, and to indeed the rest of the world. Very best wishes to you as a graduate, and take Carolina's spirit of excellence with you into your new endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. I would like to take a moment to introduce some of the other members of the platform party. Joseph Templeton, Professor of Chemistry and Chair of the Faculty. Roberta Kelly, Associate Registrar, who will help me hand out the diplomas. And Provost Gray Little, who will help with the hooding process. It is now my pleasure to introduce Steve Matson, Dean of the Graduate School.
Thank you, Chancellor Thorpe. Before we begin our ceremony, let me make a few comments about this university, our graduate programs, students, and faculty. For close to 150 years, the university has been engaged in graduate training, thereby preparing our future scientists, teachers, healthcare professionals, business leaders, and public servants. As Board of Trustees Chair Roger Perry just said, these graduates go out into the world and take Carolina's standard of excellence with them. To our doctoral candidates, whether your goal is to conduct groundbreaking research or provide earnest public leadership, we know you will share with others what you have learned here at Carolina. Now, I would like to recognize the many diverse disciplines that are represented in this ceremony. The graduate school now oversees more than 85 graduate programs, offering doctoral degrees in 66 different disciplines and master's degrees in 102. Almost all of these disciplines are here today, from English literature to sociology, to education, to epidemiology, to biochemistry and molecular biology. From these diverse disciplines, graduates and faculty alike come to share joy and pride of the PhDs being conferred here today. At this time, I would like to introduce Cindy Spurlock, outgoing president of the Graduate and Professional Student Federation at Carolina.
It is my honor to introduce our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Adrian Harris. Dr. Harris currently holds the M. June and J. Virgil Waggoner Chair in Molecular Biology and is the director of the Waggoner Center for Alcohol and Addiction Research at the University of Texas at Austin. He completed his doctorate in pharmacology from UNC-Chapel Hill in 1973 and received numerous awards for his research on alcoholism and the underlying processes involved in addiction. Dr. Harris has been a lifelong advocate for the exchange of research findings, scholarly ideas, and collaborations. He joins us today to share his insights and perspective on your achievements and this new chapter you embark on today to continue your specific and global contributions. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Adron Harris.
Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to give this lecture at an institution that I value so much and to a group of such prominence and potential. It's really a wonderful day. It's really wonderful to be here. I came to Chapel Hill, and I fell in love with the town, the university, the discipline of pharmacology. I even fell in love with my advisor's secretary, who to this day is my wife and my best friend. UNC allowed me to think about how the brain works, how drugs affect the brain, and this provided a field to which I could joyfully devote the rest of my life. Your doctorate degrees from UNC-Chapel Hill will open many doors to the future. You undoubtedly appreciate the excellence of your education now, but you will appreciate it even more in the years ahead. Even now, I call upon colleagues that I first met when I was a graduate student at UNC-Chapel Hill for advice and assistance. And as you develop your careers, many of your friends from UNC will also become successful, and the Tar Heel network that you develop will provide support and enjoyment regardless of where you live and work. And speaking of working, you are likely concerned with the financial turmoil that surrounds us all. This reminds me of how I came to attend the pharmacology doctoral program at UNC-Chapel Hill. I had planned to be an industrial chemist and was completing a master's of science in chemistry and applying for jobs with chemical companies. And as I interviewed with the companies, one by one they replied that because of the recession that we were in, they were closing the job positions and they would not be hiring any chemists. I really wasn't paying much attention to the economy, I guess, because I was surprised that a recession was in progress. One reason for my distraction is that I was more concerned about being drafted for military service in Vietnam than unemployment. At any rate, I've always been thankful that UNC took a chance on an unemployable chemist and admitted me to a graduate program. Your situation is somewhat different as you must decide how to use your degree in an uncertain job market. This may not be easy, but I see two promising aspects. First, you have received excellent and prestigious training at UNC-Chapel Hill. Second, I see a shift in priorities in which excessive materialism will be valued less and scholarship will be valued more. Such a shift would not only benefit scholars such as you, but society as a whole. And I think that this is a very promising change for the future. You probably expect to hear, maybe even hope to hear about something that I learned after getting my doctorate degree. You may already appreciate that the PhD is the beginning, not the end of your education, and that's one thing that I'm reminded of daily. I've come to appreciate the cliche that the only constant is change, and that we must continually reinvent ourselves. Perhaps because the world changed so slowly when our species was evolving, we expect constants in life. We expect the past to predict the future. We expect constancy despite daily evidence that this is emphatically not the case. One vivid memory of my time at Chapel Hill, an example of disruptive change, is the way we did rather simple calculations in our laboratory. First, we set at a typewriter-like machine to punch holes in paper cards. I know most of you have never even heard of punch cards, but that's the way we recorded data, or a scientific instrument produced a paper tape with punch holes in it. Then next, we took this punched paper to a big building on campus that was devoted to a computer that consumed the cards and did some rather simple calculations. This was an entire floor of a building with a lot of people working there, but the computing power of this huge building was far less than the iPhones that all of you have, okay? Far less. We thought it was essential for our future work to learn how to punch cards and write programs for the computer and so on. We did not anticipate how completely the entire computer industry would be transformed. And remarkably, the disruption began with two teenagers tinkering in a garage in Los Altos, California. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak were too young to care about the abundant advice from their elders that there was no need for a personal computer. And fortunately, they went on to invent Apple. And a few years later, a student at the University of Texas in Austin began building low-cost computers in his dorm room and selling them directly to other students. His parents were very unhappy about this distraction from his pre-med studies, but Michael Dell followed his passion and revolutionized the computer industry. These vignettes show the chaos of change. A few unlikely people produce completely unexpected events that challenge us to change our daily lives. You must be prepared to discard your old biases and accept unlikely, even uncomfortable, new opportunities. Fortunately, the required skills, such as adapting to the unexpected and turning disappointment into success, were probably an abundant part of your doctoral training. Another thing that I've learned is that a job is fine, but a career is very special. I've been fortunate that I've never had what I consider a job, but have always been amazed that I've been paid to do something that is much fun as science. You must remember that the privilege of the doctorate degree also carries a responsibility. We're beginning to appreciate the serious challenges facing our global society, and these will only become more critical during your lifetimes. Now is the time to think about how you can provide benefit to others, how you can help to solve problems and provide leadership in changing our world. At the least, you can act by personal example. But given the imagination, skills, and brilliance present in this group, I expect you to be leaders for change. You can promote scholarship in your communities. You can influence state and national policies if you extend your discipline and comfort zone to new levels. From local to global, society needs your help and will need it even more in the future. Your education at UNC has given you many skills and will open many doors for your future. I hope you will enjoy the journey to your dreams even more than I have enjoyed mine. Thank you for this privilege.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. Now, will the first row of candidates for doctoral degrees please come forward as directed by the graduate marshals? Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to explain the significance of the commencement hood. The hooding ceremony is derived from medieval university traditions. The presence of the hood, the presentation of the hood by the graduate student's mentor, symbolizes the welcoming of a graduate as a full-fledged member in the community of scholars. As I call the name of each doctoral candidate and his or her advisor, I ask that the student and advisor proceed onto the stage. At this point, the advisor and Provost Gray Little will ceremoniously place the hood on the student. The student and advisor will then proceed to the farthest end of the stage to receive congratulations from Chancellor Thorpe. If the student's advisor is not present, Provost Gray Little will present the hood to the student. As a safety precaution, due to the recent H1N1 flu outbreak, the university wants to take all reasonable precautions to keep our students safe. For this reason, we will dispense with handshaking during the ceremony. Chancellor Thorpe will be handing each student their diploma directly. There is a professional photographer at the foot of the stage who will be taking photos of each graduate. We encourage family and friends to take photos after the ceremony is completed.